Oh, okay. Uh, so we are here with a Sandy Shocks and Sylveon lead versus a Clefable and Goldengo lead. This is exactly the type of lead you want to play into if you're John. Being able to redirect attacks away from Goldengo so we can set up. Although the Triclops on the opposing side with that Electro Web is going to be able to play around with those speeds. But that redirection is so important for letting Goldengo set up that nasty plot, then get off big Make It Rains when it needs to.
Hold on, can we talk about the music choice real quick? We are bumping to this legendary battle music from, oh man, this is just well chosen. But yes.
I think the two of us were in high school when we were listening to this music.
You know what I'm saying? We was bopping, and we still bopping.
Absolutely. Hearing this music is just something special. So, analyzing the position, I think I'd give the edge a little bit to John here, not too threatened thanks to that setup that's on the table. But the Sylveon here is just going to go for a Terra Water to resist that Make It Rain that could come out this turn.
Definitely have to be wary of that. As the Follow Me comes out from this Clefable, definitely going to try and get some value out of that Rocky Helmet perhaps and make Goldengo relatively safe, but going for that speed drop on Goldengo with that Electro Web. Very good decision here, but as the Hyper Voice comes out and not doing too much damage, but really respectable amount of chip here.
Yeah, so Jacob reading that pretty correctly, saying, all right, I know you're going for the Follow Me. If I can do anything, it's going to be Electro Web. I'm going to make your Goldengo slower than my Sylveon, so my Sylveon can finish you up next turn. And might be threatening a KO with Earth Power or Thunderbolt onto the Clefable here, which would allow for this Sylveon to potentially go for a Terra Water Terra Blast into the Goldengo, which is no longer resisted as it was when it was just pixelating.
Well, two problems with that I can see almost immediately is that first off, we have a Follow Me Clefable, so maybe that redirection will be pivotal in taking a hit. And of course, the second thing being that +2 from Nasty Plot. I don't know, it's pretty scary, but we're not going to see any damage coming out just yet as we see a Protect from Goldengo defending from that Electro Web.
Yeah, so we just see the Electro Web go out onto Clefable, and depending on what we see here, it is the Hyper Voice. We're probably going to see Clefable go down this turn, and Goldengo is going to be, well, not all alone on the field, but not having the support it once had.
But hey, maybe a speedier option coming in here in the form of an Ogerpon, maybe defensive in the same vein, right? Gonna be able to threaten some of these Pokemon on the other side here, specifically that Sandy Shocks maybe.
Yeah, so scratch that about not having any redirection from Clefable. The next best thing is here, and it could be Ogerpon, but instead we see Seboyin, the Kazooie-looking Roaring Moon, now blocking Goldengo. It's all about Roaring Moon now. Hitting the field, going to be able to set up a Tailwind if it so desires. I didn't catch the booster boost. I would assume it's speed based on the fact that it is running Tailwind.
Yeah.
Which would offset that one Electro Web. Although I'm not sure how much damage it can get off onto the Sandy Shocks, which is the Pokemon that's really threatening this Goldengo.
You know, I love the positioning that we have here now with Roaring Moon literally taking under its wing that Goldengo, trying to just dish out tons of damage over here. And then it's a +2 Goldengo. I'm a little scared of it.
Yeah, I think anyone would be scared of it unless you're, I don't know, a wallet. In which case you're very happy to see it. But we are going to be seeing, you know, the speed controls back and forth here. And Goldengo, I don't know, Sylveon, an extremely specially bulky Pokemon.
Yes.
With its special defense as its highest natural stat.
And
we
the water
are going
typing.
To see, yeah, the water typing not helping into that Make It Rain. So Make It Rain not wanting to come out at all, resisted by both of these Pokemon. Tailwind is going to come out as Roaring Moon is the fastest Pokemon on the field.
As I said, under the wing, and now the speed. Oh, still getting outsped here? Is that what I just saw?
Yeah, so with the -1 from Electro Web earlier, and with a booster speed of its own, that Sandy Shocks is going to be faster than Goldengo under Tailwind, kind of negating boost. And even at +2, just hardly doing half, as 2 knockouts are taken this turn by that Sylveon.
Losing access to that terrestrialization, and of course a really powerful asset in the form of Roaring Moon. And now Sandy Shocks showing its stuff. You don't expect a Pokemon looking like that to be moving quite fast, but man's is zooming.
Yeah, 4 legs,
Oh,
better
yeah.
than 2.
Yeah, especially
My
when you got
word.
some magnets involved in there, that's speed.
That woolly looking dude. Ogerpon hits the field, and I mean, Tailwind's up, but not looking great in a 4v2. You know, if you're John here, you may want to see what your opponent has in the back, but he's just going to reset. Not going to want to reveal too much about his speed and his bulk.
Yes, yes.
So you never know. I think a change that John's going to need to make is getting that Ogerpon in sooner, because it is very threatening to those two Pokemon.
It is extremely threatening to both of those Pokemon, especially if you can redirect that Terra Blast, right? Because of that, you know, water absorbability.
Where is that? Where's that picture of John's profile picture in the game? Is that a Golurk going over the Golden Gate Bridge?
That does look like a Nugget Bridge to me.
Ooh, that looks like a Nugget Bridge? Oh, we're doing our best here. We have no regrets. So, you know, Jacob in the driver's seat here with his very, very off-meta team, not really commonly seen Pokemon. He's the one who is going to dictate the flow of this game, too, as well as the first game's winner. Whereas John is going to have to command a lot, or give a lot more respect to what Jacob has on there. Knowing that that Golden Go was really well checked, who knows if it'll come. But it is the center point of offense on this team.
Yes. I got to say, you know, this is what's so powerful about having these usually unorthodox teams, is because your opponents might not know how to handle it. They get tons of experience on ladder versus what is the quote and unquote meta game at the time. So now when you throw a curveball and bring something like Sandy Shocks, it's a little startling. It sets you back a little bit. You're like, how do I deal with that?
Sandy slept on it. It's giving us all a little shock. And it really performed its role in that last game. Slowing down the pace of things, threatening bigger damage than you'd expect from a pile of magnets and eyeballs.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
But really cool building from Jacob here. I didn't know how it was going to work, but he sure did make it work.
On paper, it didn't look as powerful as you would assume, right? But now that we've seen it perform, time to respect that Sandy Shocks.
Boy, oh boy, and we are ready, back at it again with that wonderful black and white legendary theme music as Landorus and Roaring Moon hit the field. A lot more offensive pressure, a lot more speed control right off the bat, as we do see the Sandy Shocks lead again, leading with his speed control, some offensive potential, and Incineroar for that wonderful, wonderful fake-out pressure.
That fake-out is going to be so important in this upcoming turn. Do you deny the speed boosting Tailwind ability, or do you deny the damage coming out from that Therian form? And it's, well, not Therian form, excuse me, from that Landorus, that's iconic form. But it's very, very difficult to choose here.
Yeah, so with Incineroar's fake-out pressure, gonna want to target down that Landorus because, as a famous rapper once said, somebody's got to get KO'd. And that Earth Power would certainly do it to a Sandy Shocks or an Incineroar.
Yeah, that's definitely not the position you want to be facing a Landorus right about now, especially with that Life Orb ability. I like the switch out, but into what coming? Buttercup, the grumpy. Everyone's just upset today. What's going on?
So a Protect coming out from Sandy Shocks with that initial Incineroar pressure, maybe calling that John would be setting 2 Protects of his own. But we actually see a knockoff going into Sandy Shocks with, when it was holding that booster energy, you know, not going to be doing as much damage as it normally would if it was able to knock off an item because it was a consumed item. But Baxcalibur hitting the field and immediately flip-flopping who has the offensive pressure on who.
Yeah, now we have to deal with this ice typing here in our Landorus, and we don't like that at all. Considering even a switch in this situation is kind of interesting. You could go for the Protect option as well and maybe try to do something, but Roaring Moon, is it going to be enough to deal with a Baxcalibur? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, Baxcalibur, one of those few Pokemon that will not get one shot by Landorus
exactly.
while maintaining offensive presence. So really precarious situation for John where both of his Pokemon are threatened by knockout suddenly when the shoe was on the other foot in last turn. But a Terra Steel here defensively is going to do wonders
I like
for John.
this. I like this decision. It will help you tank that ice typing that you know is probably coming your way. Protecting the Roaring Moon too. Maybe just keeping the opponent on toes. Oh! That was the craziest read I have ever seen. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding? He said, "Oh, I knew what you knew before you knew it." Like,
Yeah.
hold on.
Absolutely.
That was
textbook.
insane.
Yeah, I'm surprised we didn't see what I thought we'd see, which, I'll be honest, I expected the Earth Power.
Sure.
I'll be honest.
I did too, but not from him. That's crazy.
The Earth Power into the Terra Steel and a potential Icicle Crash was a perfect, what I like to call a Terrapin, not like the turtle, where if you Terra, you're done.
Yep.
If you don't Terra,
You're
you're
done.
done 90% of the time. We didn't even see the Icicle Crash there.
No.
Jacob just saying, I know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Going for Glaive Rush right into that Roaring Moon. Absolutely terrific play by Jacob. Taking what was a really, really shaky lead to some of the best offensive pressure I've seen today.
You know, it's a really awkward position because you were pinned, right? You're pinned between two different typings that are bad against you if you Terra or you don't, as you said. And now we have to deal with losing a very important offensive piece on our team. But will he be able to stabilize from that? Ogerpon is a strong Pokemon, and Roaring Moon is as well with a very high attack stat as well. But now the speed is dropping, and the Glaive Rush is coming. And the Glaive Rush is punting it down. Oh, no.
Go Godzilla. That Glaive Rush just decimating Roaring Moon. Setting up a Tailwind to potentially get the lead back as John, despite being down 2-4, not in the worst of positions.
And I gotta say, these two Pokemon next to each other are, or is rather, what's putting John on that back foot right now because of the way these attacks are interacting with the typing on John's side. It's really scary. Ogerpon went for a protect, which was a good safe play, but too safe, and now you are losing two really important offensive pieces on your team.
Yeah, so Princess Buttercup switching out did its job. Incineroar coming in, going to reduce the attack of that Ogerpon very critically, as we are likely going to see a nasty blow from this Golden Go, as we do. What's it thinking about? Making more money, baby.
Nefarious X, of course.
So Incineroar in here is threatening a fake out into the Ogerpon, not at all into that Golden Go, unless it chooses to Terrasilize, which it might have to, given the strong Earth power that could come out from Sandy Shocks. I'm not sure how these speeds interact, if with booster speed, if it will outspeed the Tailwind boosted Golden Go, if Golden Go has enough power in it to take out the Sandy Shocks. We'll find out right now.
Fake out going into the Ogerpon. It will not be able to move. This Shadow Ball is going to be important, but first, Sandy Shocks with the Earth Hour doing a significant portion of damage. Shadow Ball going into Sandy Shocks. Is it enough? The one-hit KO, and the Triclops is down.
Yeah, we see that Earth Power go straight into the Golden Go. And I'll be honest, I thought that was going to be a clean one-hit KO. But Golden Go showing that money can't buy happiness, but it can buy a lot of bulk.
I know it was a little risky to go for that nasty plot, but it was necessary because otherwise your team just doesn't have the offensive power to power through 4 Pokemon. But now we see the revealed Sylveon coming into play.
Key thing here to note, we haven't seen Terrasilization from
either side
of these players. So what's going to happen? How are the Terras going to play out? How much damage is going to come out? Who's going to go for what? As we see Golden go straight for Protect, as Jacob does not Terrasilize either of his Pokemon either.
Ooh.
Instead of opting to go for a Detect with Sylveon, Incineroar going to be putting on the offensive pressure. Hornleech going into that Sylveon, not going for the Terra and just going for the Detect and not going to take that damage. Flare Blitz going into the Golden Go, and we have a very fun turn where nothing happened.
Well, this is awkward, right? What you really wanted was to do some damage to this really, really well-positioned Incineroar right now. I think an Ivy Cudgel going into that slot would have been very nice, but unfortunately, that's not what we got here. We got the Hornleech into Sylveon. Now, I'm not sure what it is we are fearing from the Sylveon slot, but is it gonna be enough to KO a Steel type? I don't know.
I would like to correct one thing I said. I don't think we saw Terrastalization from either side. We did see that Terra Landorus.
Oh, that's
it
true.
Vanished so quickly
That's
with a
right.
red Earth Power that we didn't even see it happen.
That's crazy.
So Terra Water from Sylveon still on the table, but afraid of a potential Horn Leech here, right? So a Horn Leech and a Make It Rain, likely a bit of a pin. However, there's still an Incineroar on the field that you have to pay mind to.
Yes, pay mind indeed. Do you get to double protect here? He gets the double protect too. That's so good. This is exactly what he needed to correct the course. And now Ivy Cutter going into the cat. Is that not enough? Unfortunate. You see, if that was the slot you attacked into last time, you would have found your answer. But taking the Flare Blitz, that is very important.
And with the Hyper Voice here, is it going to be able to clean up this Ogre Pawn without the Terastallization special defense boost? Is it enough for the knockout as Goldgo is the last Pokemon on the field. Likely does not have the power in the tank to take out that Sylveon thanks to its Terra Water and the Throat Spray coming in as some insurance that it can take out a Goldingo from 27.
Yes, if you thought I wasn't strong enough, I'm stronger even now, my friend. Making it rain definitely went first. Not enough to deal nearly as much damage as you need to get through a Water-type Sylveon. And it's looking like it's a game. Oh, man.
Absolutely. So Jacob showing the power of creativity.
Yes.
Absolutely raining down that Terra Water Sylveon on John's Parade. Really, really well played by Jacob, taking one of the most disadvantageous looking leads I've seen in a while, at least today, to an absolutely incredible read and an incredible